Hey, this is Death Unto Madness, and we are back for episode 20-something, 24 of Death Unto Madness. And Carly won't be with us today. She's feeling a little sick, so but Avra is in a separate place than everybody else, so easy enough to kind of just not do some Avra stuff today and focus on the other characters. So the first thing I want to start with before we get into our beliefs and instincts is I didn't actually do a mini session like I wanted to. I was going to do like a solo session, and then I just never got around to doing it. But the third of the kind of the NPCs that we're going to kind of follow through the game that aren't you guys, we'll get a quick scene just to show what's going on there, and then next time hopefully I'll be able to come up with something, be able to run something and make some rolls for these people. But I think we see a idyllic countryside, right? And maybe we're seeing like just a small part of it that is still idyllic, and then we kind of pan over and we see Caruzia, right? We've seen Caruzia before on Death and Madness, so we're familiar with the sights. And it's on fire. And we see Jagati raiders rushing in on horseback and lighting the place on fire, throwing torches in buildings, and men and women and children are screaming and running around, and then we see heroically ride through Caruzia. I think we're focusing on a Jagati raider who's like coming over to like a woman and raising his axe. He seems maddened, and then a spear just pierces him right through the chest, and he falls over. And then riding over is a handsome young man. I'll go ahead and pop the actual picture I have for this dude on screen. His name is Isidore. And this is the character that Thomas played, Chad, when we did that one shot way back when in Caruzia. So we see that character ride up and grab the spear out of the Jagati raider and say, "Are you okay, ma'am?" And she nods frantically, and she's like, "Get inside, get to the manor. Well, we'll take care of this." And then a couple of other of his former drinking buddies, now turned guerrilla soldiers, right, have rushing over to fight the Jagati raiders, and they're facing the Jagati and kind of pushing them back. And we just see kind of a wide shot of them fighting back to keep Caruzia safe. And in theory, the idea is this is kind of like a microcosm of the effort that is still being waged in the outskirts of Sinia, the outskirts villages, to keep the Jagati back. So they're still alive. They're still fighting strong, right? It's definitely at bad times for everybody. But if you guys manage to pull off your plan and get back here, there will be something remaining, right? Alpheus will finally get to go back to Caruzia and live out the rest of his days in peace, as long as, everything turns out okay. There's still a hope that, that everything will be right by the end. Despite everything else. Caruzia is still standing, though slightly on fire. But I'm sure they'll put it out.
Query: Are there ice patties everywhere?
So I don't know if we probably see something like that, but I don't know if we see anything immediately that you probably, if you pause the video, you'll see something like that. But I'm planning on getting more into that role that you made off screen last time, and when I do the solo session, and kind of do some world building there and fill in everybody. But yeah, we do at least see one kind of rice patty off in the distance as we get the wide shot, and maybe a hippo going through it. Right. And I think we'll go ahead and do beliefs and instincts real quick as we jump into it, and then we'll begin. Alpheus the second, what are your bits?
Hate Titan and want him to die. I will either escape his clutches or kill him myself. We need military help, therefore I will find a Coyotes general to help us and attempt to convince him that Titan needs to die. I'll find someone to. Can I delete that part?
I'll find someone in our party to give me some information on the general. Yeah, we can delete that and change it.
Because
to
isn't it just
something relevant.
me? Yeah, I'm just gonna delete that part.
Yep.
Now.
Yeah, it seems like there should be a new second part for that one. So we need military help. Therefore, I will find a Coyotes general to help us and attempt to convince him that Titan needs to die.
Because I already know which Coyotes general it is.
Yeah, and honestly, if that might just be the full thing, right? Because that's the next part. It's just convincing the general, right? So, Yep, makes sense to me.
I feel terrible for getting Ben. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Can I keep going? For getting Ben kidnapped, and I will do everything I can to keep him safe and return him to his mother and father and establish him as king.
Yeah, I think there's a slight delay.
My instincts are. What happened?
I think there's a slight delay, so we're talking over each other slightly. So.
Oh. Maybe it's because of the earthquake.
Yeah, so instincts?
Okay, my instincts are I always try to talk my way out of trouble. I always treat others of the lower classes with respect. Always ensure that those I trust are lifted up. Traits: strong-willed, cramped hands, pragmatic, competitive, impulsive, broken in, catalyst, driven.
Nice. Joser. Who you be?
Indeed. Hagiel's power must be increased if his light is to pierce the coming darkness. I will prepare the stage for my debate against Kalik. Haven't done that yet. If I am to maintain myself, I must be aware of all the variables. I will gain Maya's confidence. My current work with Sinia is not progressing quickly enough. I will seek the sunshine to light the way. And then my instincts are always pray for greater insightfulness before entering a social situation. If Thalia is addressed negatively, then I ready my knife and never reveal the true intentions behind my actions.
I need to have Thalia be threatened.
Trait-wise, well, it's not even just threatened. It's literally if you just sass her.
Yeah. Right, so but if someone threatens her,
any kind of insult,
then you actually pull out the knife, right?
Well, no, I ready it anyway. That's the whole point of it. That's right. Anything, even if it's just
okay. You actually like pulling it out, ready to stab. Okay,
yeah. Because ready to
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
In the pocket still.
In my mind, I was thinking like, hand on the knife, ready to pull it out. But yeah, you're right.
Be ready. Yep. Traits wise, I have rabble rouser, well traveled, cunning, and strange. And then a bunch of die traits, including faithful, manhunter, weather sense, believer, vested, and of course, the age-old, incomprehensible diagnosis.
Indeed. It'll be fun when you can lie to someone about their medical diagnosis. I mean, make someone sick, I guess. You could have lied. You could have lied to any number of Sinians beforehand.
I really want to lie to Sophocles, but maybe that'll be what I'll do for Maya.
You're like, oh no, the cerulean plague is just back just for you, but it's not contagious to anyone else, but you're gonna die.
No, you're all the blood is rushing elsewhere when you're ogling these women, which means that your brain is oozing. You're having brain damage. You need to go away from anybody you could possibly harm.
Oh no. All right, Maya.
Yep.
Okay, I'll do whatever it takes to elevate my son to the place of prophet king. I will find someone to go after my son. Alpheus is a traitor. I will ensure he is never welcome back in Sinia. I am Malekith's partner, and I will stand by him no matter what. I will help him with his goals inside Kiss.
Very good.
My instincts, I will always put my son first, no matter what. Never back down from a challenge. If I meet a fellow performer, I will give him my assistance. Traits: colorful, religious, ambitious, competitive, thick skin, mark of privilege, bastard, and glib.
Very good. Who do we want to start with? I mean, we usually start with Alpheus, but I'm kind of fine with starting with whoever. Who would like to do a scene first? Who's eager to get into it?
I mean, I don't know.
Go ahead. Alyssa.
I think Chad just
Sure,
volunteered
I'll
you.
Sure. I really want to find somebody to go after my son for sure.
Oh, right. Yes, that's where we were going to pick up with Damaris coming back to you with like an option of someone you could hire. Right.
Well,
so
because I found Damaris, my friend, my
Yep.
famous playwright, she said that she might connect me with somebody.
Yeah, didn't she make a circles roll like for you to like find someone?
I don't know if she actually did that or not. That I don't know.
Okay, so I posted her name here.
At least not that we saw on screen.
Yeah.
I don't think
okay, I
so.
guess. I mean, I know who it is already, but I guess I'll go ahead and roll a circles to just see how whether or not this person is like gonna have an issue with you or gonna be kind of scummy or whatever, right? Like I can kind of flavor the dude a different way. Or if he's gonna like scam me out of something or whatever. All right, so Damaris has a 3 in circles. She has a reputation, a 1 die reputation as mysterious playwright, but I don't know if that really is going to help with finding someone to, like a mercenary to go after your son.
Because I guess I was under the impression she was just going to connect me with a noble that might know a mercenary. I didn't think she'd actually know somebody who could go after my son.
It could be either way. She does have like a life path in noble court. But actually, now that I'm thinking about it, so I know who the person is. Like I already made the character sheet for the mercenary. Let me check what life paths they have. Yeah, okay. It would definitely have to be someone else making this circles roll. So Damaris must be making. Yeah, I'll have Damaris make a circles roll to find the person who can find the mercenary, and we'll just
then I can talk to that person and
then you'll
convince
talk to
them
that person.
to introduce me to the
much.
mercenary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I think it's like even they can set you up with a meeting with the dude, right? It's just that you'll have to negotiate with him, right?
Okay. Right.
I mean, if he's a mercenary by trade, he's not going to say no. I won't meet with this rich noblewoman, whatever.
I'm not very rich.
You aren't, obviously, but yeah, your husband is still.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is going to be it's just going to be another courtier, which is the life path she has, who has like extra information. So I think you just opt to. What the heck? She got a 3, a 1, and a 1, and a 1.
Oh my god! What the heck? So this just means it's going to be more difficult for me to like convince this person.
I guess. I don't know if she has any fate yet, so I don't think I can reroll anything for her. Let's see. Does she have? I don't think she has a call in for circles randomly. Nope. Oh, wait a second. I actually did. I forgot I did this when I made her a character sheet. I gave her the connected die trait, which I was specifically going to say she also had access to outcast stuff, so she could make the circles roll for this dude. Not that it really matters that much. Like I think it would be even a higher roll maybe. So she failed no matter what. Like she got a 0. So I think it's just Damaris knows someone, right, who could be a good mercenary for this job of yours. But I mean, I think it's going to be clear enough, just the character I made, why this would be a failed circles roll. It's probably not going to be the sort of person that Maya is interested in sending. But I think the implication here is that this is probably the cheapest dude out there. And right, like he's willing to do a lot for little because he's desperate. And this is like the only sort of person Maya could afford at this point. Or have the reputation to hire, right? Because there's like probably other mercenaries, but they're like not interested, right, in this sort of thing. They don't want to get involved. But this dude's fine with it, right? But it's not the sort of person you want. So this person's name is Rekketsa. So actually, I'll just show the character sheet to everybody. So played by Tony Kugorage. So, kind of tall, dark-skinned dude. So physical characteristics, he's very scarred. Has lots of like random scars all over the place. He seems pretty what's the right word for this? Cold and kind of jaded. That's kind of his attitude as he arrives. Where are you having this meeting, Maya?
My just first idea is that we're having it like at like the theater, like in one of the boxes, like maybe while they're like rehearsing or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Because Damaris is kind of the one setting this up. So like she's there, giving stage direction, behind the scenes to the people as they rehearse, and she let you guys kind of do your clandestine meeting up here. This is probably something she does for people regularly, right? As like a kind of political intrigue sort of thing.
Right.
So you also notice that he's blind. So he steps in, and you can obviously see that his like eyes are kind of.
Are you saying
light.
This guy's Batman?
No. So the second thing you notice after he steps in,
no, wrong
Daredevil.
Superhero.
I know,
Daredevil. I'm like, whoa.
No.
I'm so sorry to Batman and Daredevil. Honestly, Daredevil's cool.
They're very offended at you. So
yeah, I'm so sorry.
So he steps in. And the second thing you notice, right, is that stepping in behind him is a giant hulking zombie.
Okay.
And
right, that's normal around here, so gotta remember that.
Yes, but the zombie has so the guy has like a knife on his belt, right? He looks like he knows his way around it. But the zombie has like a giant khopesh like on its back, so it's like obviously, and you're starting to get the idea that like maybe because the guy like steps towards you, he's blind, the zombie's kind of helping him. No, I think you know what it is. He has a little zombie ocelot that is like his seeing eye animal, right? But it's like a zombie, and it's like helping him like move forward. So like it's there next.
How is he gonna be stealthy?
He has a hand right down there, and he's stepping forward, and his giant like hulking zombie is stepping in behind him as like protection. And you get the idea that he might not be the mercenary so much as all of his maybe he has zombies who do this stuff for him. Maybe he's just a necromancer who like has a cadre of mercenary zombies that he and I think he tells you as much, right? Like you do like introductions. He introduced himself as Reketsa, and he maybe holds out a hand, and you can tell it's like shaking. So he has like palsy or something too. So this guy's probably he just seems like a wreck, right?
Maya is so not impressed right now.
I know. But I think Reketsa, he says, you are Maya, I presume?
Yes, I am Maya. And you are?
The name is Reketsa. I am someone that people hire when they need something done. Now, I could always stab someone in the night if that is the sort of thing you are looking for, but I also have many servants that can do whatever sort of job you require. You could say that I have a tool in the toolbox for every occasion.
Well, the job I require requires some travel. Do you have a servant that already happens to be in oh my gosh, why can't I think of the name off the top of my head?
Kyrides?
Kyrides.
That is a good question.
Right? Because I'm like, this is the only thing that I could see being a plus for Maya. The only reason she might actually hire this guy is if he already has a guy there. Because that would save time.
Have you read the Death Art rules recently? Okay, I'm trying to think if like you can give commands to zombies like over a long distance, like if there's like any mental thing, or if it's just like you talk to them and they do stuff for you. Because, like, I mean, it's possible he has someone there, but, like, if he can't, like, mentally command zombies, then it's not going to be
it's not going to
as
happen.
big of a... Well, yeah, what I'm saying is, like, then even if he did have someone there, he'd still have to send a message, which would take a while. So travel might be, no matter what, happening. Let's take a look at Death Art real quick. Commands must be verbalized.
Darn.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, so he says, I don't currently have any of my servants in Kyrides. A hunter, or how do you say this? A soldier without a commander is a dangerous thing. But I am quite willing to travel to Kyrides if that is what you desire, and I have many servants that could carry out a mission there. The Kyrides are largely unaware of the abilities of my hunters, and they will be caught without... I was trying to think of like an idiom to go there, but he's basically saying like they aren't going to be ready for or know a whole lot about necromancy, and so they are particularly vulnerable to my art.
I see. Sorry, I do not know much about your art, as you call it.
That is all right. You are from Sinia, after all, and they do not use servants there, do they?
Not of your kind, no.
Hmm.
I need somebody to go after my son. My son
Did he
was
wrong
taken.
you?
No, my son was taken from me before Sinia blew up.
I see.
And unfortunately, in the chaos, we were not able to go after him ourselves.
Very well. I will, of course, need the expenses of the travel itself covered, and the normal fee for the job itself, but that is certainly something within the realm of plausibility. I have a particular specimen who I have been preparing for just such an occasion. You need stealth in the night, rip out a few throats, and then off with your son back to safety, yes?
Yes.
Very good. Are you willing to pay, Maya of Sinia?
Well, what's this guy's name again? I'm sorry.
Rekketsa.
Retketsa. So she says his name. She says, Retketsa. What do you want?
And I think he just says, like, he's just like a resource test, right? Like, he's just like, I just want to be rich, like I need money. And let's see, what would be a good for this?
I mean, because I feel like I feel like we could go about this one of two ways. I can make the resource test, right, to see if I actually have the cash needed to be able to pay this guy. Or I could try to convince this guy, kind of like the approach that Avra's boyfriend is taking. Why am I so terrible at remembering names right now?
Celadon,
like Celadon's taking almost like, I'll pay you some now, and then once you get my son back, we will have way more money in Sinia, kind of a thing. And like, so we'll cover your expenses to get there, plus a little bit, but not your full fee, basically is. So I don't know if that's possible or not.
Either approach is something you can at least try, right? Whether or not you'll have to make a roll to convince him of one, whatever Maya would suggest, we can start there, and then.
I guess it depends on how hard this resource test is going to be, because if it's something that she can't pay, then obviously she would, like, if it's not plausible, because I think I only have how much cash?
Well,
you
also have
one
Malekith.
Cash die.
I mean, Malekith can roll this for you, right? You have the relationship for a reason, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying that you married him for his money. But
I just,
in terms of game mechanics,
he's my sugar daddy.
Yeah.
What can I say? I mean, but do I want him to make this roll for me though? Because then I don't get anything. I don't, towards this because I haven't made a roll
That's
towards
true.
it.
Yeah. So I think he maybe says first off, like his starting like price point. You can obviously try to haggle or whatever, but he says, the equivalent of an OB5 resources test. So for you, obviously, that's more than you have in the stat, in the attribute, and with cash die. As far as I remember.
Yeah, I only have a 2 in resources.
Yeah. Malekith has an 8. Is taxed by 1 right now, so he's rolling 7 dice, but he could make that. And then you could always help him too, right? But yeah.
Right.
To you.
Well, yeah, I guess I'm just wondering if if I try to persuade this guy to knock down the price, right? Or would that,
so
because that's probably not persuasion, right? That'd be haggle.
Yep.
Right. And I don't have that either.
Malekith does though, at a 7.
Then why isn't he here? Why isn't he doing this?
I don't know. I mean, it's fine. You can meet with a dude and then maybe Malekith even just pops in. Maybe he's like, sorry, I'm late. Right.
Okay.
He's your relationship, right? Like, and it's not like he has anything pressing to do necessarily.
Yeah.
Like, this is part of the main thing he's doing here. So.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I'm just mad at him right now. So.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, it makes no sense for me to make this roll, I suppose. Yeah. So.
Cool. Do you want to give him a helping die with something?
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, what sort of thing would you say? So it is a bit of a high price, right?
Right.
So like OB4 is like the wages of a bodyguard, and so he's asking, for he's asking for the equivalent of a lord or captain's wages.
Okay.
So definitely above his
above his pay grade.
Pay grade, yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like, right, a bodyguard to lord, like, I feel like it's got to be somewhere in between, because, like, a bodyguard is less than an assassin, I feel like, right?
Maybe, yeah.
But, like...
It also seems like this is the sort of person who's desperate enough that you could definitely get him down lower, because he's desperate enough to take the job. It's just a matter of haggling and stuff.
Hold on 1 second. Let me look at my skills list real quick, because I feel like I've got another skill that could possibly work.
Look at haggling myself.
I believe haggling is just opposed haggling.
Versus test, the buyer can lower the obstacle by 1. Yeah, the thing with this guy is I don't think he has haggling. I'll check, but
okay. Why do I have this skill? What is exhortation?
Extortion. I believe is the skill, and it would be the idea is, pay me some money or your family is going to be killed. Or
why do I have this skill?
Because you took the bastard life path, which means you kind of grew up.
Because I could have
grew up in a cutthroat world, and you use blackmail and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Oh dang. Okay. Well, Maya has really turned a corner there.
Yeah, I think the idea with it is, you had blackmail on like your father or whatever, and in theory, the life path means like because you had that blackmail, you were extorting and stuff. But obviously Maya used it slightly differently, but she used it at some point.
I guess. Okay. I mean, I feel like persuasion is really the only stat I have where I could give a helping dice. And again, I'm trying to persuade him that like, or I could try to do an ugly truth and say like, listen, we can go somewhere else. Like, that's way too high of a price for one of your zombies to go out and get somebody. A mindless zombie is not going to do the job as well as someone who's actually trained to do it.
Yeah, that sounds like an ugly truth.
Okay.
And so he has to kind of like back up and be like, no, I assure you. And no, okay, fine. I'll, if, to assuage your fears, I'll lower the price. Yeah, so that makes sense. So you're given Malekith a die here. We'll have him go ahead and roll this, and then I'll roll for, what's his face? Ooh, only a 3.
Oof. Wow, that was not a very good roll.
Wait a second. I could have probably forked things in. Let me just redo that roll. I wasn't paying attention to all of his bajillion forks. Let's see. Currency wise, right? You're probably using you're haggling between Sinian currency and Setkessian currency and stuff, and figuring out exchange rates. He can probably fork in etiquette, falsehood, persuasion, soothing platitudes. No, I don't think that one. So he has pirates wise, and it's not quite mercenary wise, but yeah, I don't think it's close enough. But he almost has something else. But yeah, I think it'll just be that. So he'll have 5 helping, and we'll go ahead and do that again. There you go. 5 is a bit better.
Still not great, but better.
It is not, no. Okay. So I'm gonna go and roll for this guy. I did end up giving him a haggling, so he's a mercenary, so it makes sense. He's had to do this before. We'll set the ob as 5, and he failed. And he doesn't have any fate.
Wow, he got 2 6s.
He got 2 6s, but I don't think he has any fate. He hasn't done anything in the game yet, so you've managed to lower the price by 1. So ob 4 resources test.
Okay. I could give Malekith one of my cash die. Would that help?
You can give him a cash die, and you can help him with your resources if you'd like.
Okay. I mean, I feel like I care about this a lot, so.
Sure. Yeah. Makes sense to me. All right. Giving him 2 dice here then. And
so goodbye, cash die. I literally saved this for my son.
Makes sense. And then ob 4. There we go. Fine and dandy. Malekith certainly does not need a routine, but cool. Yeah, you guys managed to scrounge up some funds to pay this guy. And it didn't sound like you were doing any particular we'll pay you now.
No, I don't think
later. Yeah, so whatever. Yeah, I think you pay him enough that he's like, okay, I'll do it. Like it's not your and I think even though the circles roll failed, I don't think this guy's gonna betray you necessarily, right? I think he takes the payment and he'll do the job. But I think the failed circles rolls in this instance is just that, I mean, it's zombies, right? And so
it's not great.
There's gonna be a whole big complication when the zombie hunter or whatever, right, actually shows up. At the very least, poor Ben Asher is gonna be kidnapped by a zombie and try to fight the thing, right? He's not gonna want to be taken off by a zombie.
Well, I mean, I would probably tell him a message from Mom.
Okay, yeah. So have a letter or something on on his person.
Yeah. Or even just so I'd probably give him a letter and then just a verbal Mom says fact. Mom says to be brave, because that's the last thing I said to him.
Yep. Sounds good.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so Reketsa nods, and he says, "Very well, I will leave on the morning's tide. I will be in Kyrides before the week is out, and we will get you back your son."
Thank you for your swiftness.
Of course. And he kind of turns on his heel and walks out with the help of his pet zombie ocelot, flanked by his big, beefy, it's probably like a Jagati, right? That he zombified. big tall Zagati guy, zombified, and walks out with him. And yeah, I think we probably just see like a quick snippet of him going back to his like weird zombie workshop and like opening like a some coffin or something, right? That his like night hunter is just like laying in, and he's just like, "All right, my dear, it's time to go on the prowl." And then the zombie's eyes open, right? And it's like this kind of ghoulish looking thing with long claws and whatnot. So cool, yeah. So him and his team of zombies will go and head out.
That's pretty terrifying.
I know. I'm really excited to make the magic card for this guy with all of his zombie. Oh,
and I don't know if Malekith says anything, but I definitely do not specify that you need to bring back Alpheus.
Right. You don't even probably mention the dude, right?
Nope. I'm just like kill anybody around him. Exactly. Get my son.
Yep. And I
thought she was telling them to kill me.
I'm not sending them to kill you. I just didn't specify. So
there might be a thing here. So let's actually back up real quick, because I think if you say that, Malekith like takes you aside for a second and he says, "Maya, you do understand that if Alpheus is with Ben, then the zombie will be killing him too, yes?"
Yep.
He gives you a look like, "We have still not finished our discussion about Alpheus. I don't believe he deserves death, at least not until a proper trial."
So would you prefer to discuss Alpheus right now, or the fact that you've lied by omission for half our lives?
Make like an ugly truth test. That's what that is. So I think ob 2.
Okay.
It's not the like ugliest of, it's not the most obvious of truth, but it's like a family truth. So.
Okay. Can I fork in some stuff?
Depends. What do you want to fork in?
Husband wise? Family wise?
Of course, yeah.
Family secret wise?
Yep. Any test about this for the rest of time, we're just going to have all these forks.
Pretty much. I think that's it. I don't think I'm persuading him or anything. It's just, I'm just like, do you want to talk about this now?
Yeah,
we can talk.
You want to shut him down in his tracks by bringing up the ugly truth. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's a lot of dice.
Boom.
A lot of successes there. So 5 against 2, he, his lips go into a thin line, and I don't know. I don't think he would just let you get away with this exactly, but he certainly is like shut up in this moment by your ugly truth. Okay, so I think what the ugly truth means, because I don't think he would just not press about Alpheus. Like he wants to make sure Alpheus is safe. So instead, he grits his teeth and just plunges into okay, fine, let's talk about it, right? Like,
oh God,
let's talk about the fact that, and so I think he says, "Maya, what did you want me to have done? I'm still figuring out how all of this is even possible. When I married you, yes, I had some idea of what had happened and who I was, but I didn't know everything, and even now, I still don't know everything."
Malik, you're missing the point. I could care less that you didn't tell me about that.
Then what are you angry about?
I can understand why you kept your secret. What I can't understand is how you suspected who kidnapped our son and didn't tell me. Not only that, but you met the man, hired him to kill my father, which, to be honest, I don't care about. Never cared about the man. But now I'm going to have to lie to Avra for the rest of my life to save your... And Avra's, besides you and Ben, she's the only family I have. And I wouldn't even really call us family because she doesn't even seem to like me very much, and that kills me. And now I'm going to have to lie to her to save you. How do you think that makes me feel?
Avra, when you live in a world of cutthroat politics, sometimes you have to make decisions that are not tasteful. And yes, I had suspicions. I knew who Titan was, but I didn't know he was back in Sinia. I didn't know for sure that he had kidnapped our son. I couldn't have even fathomed why he would have done so.
Because Alpheus told him, and you know Alpheus knew him. Alpheus is a traitor. And the fact that you don't see that blows my mind.
Okay, that's a persuasion test, I think, because I think you really have circled around to it. Like, the reason he didn't say anything about Titan is because he trusted Alpheus, and you pointing that out to him in this moment could be the thing that turns him around and actually is like, right, you're right, Alpheus betrayed us. Like,
okay.
And I think it's persuasion. I don't think it's ugly truth. I think it's like, you're like, no, listen, you have to trust me. Alpheus is a traitor. Like, this is for our best interest. You have to like go with me on this.
Okay.
But you can fork in ugly truth. Obviously, there's certainly elements of it here.
Okay.
And then I'll look at his will, which is a 5. So.
Okay. So forking in ugly truth. Husband wise, family wise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think family secret wise makes
no, I don't think so.
Well,
no, I think either family or family secret wise, but not
one
both,
of the two.
Right?
Okay, sure. I think that's probably it. Okay. Right. I'm not trying to be like dramatic in this moment. I'm just like,
yeah, you're not acting, you're just being honest.
Okay. So that's 3 forks.
And op 5.
Op 5. Okay. To be honest, I don't know that I care about this enough to use a persona, but I will use fate if I will get there. So I don't necessarily want Chad's character to actually die, but Maya certainly does.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I come back, I'll just persuade everyone that you're wrong.
Ooh, okay, hold up. I got 2 6s.
So you can spend 1 or 2 fate to roll 2 or 3 dice.
And I've got like 9 fate, bro.
Yeah. Very good chance of success if you're rolling 3 dice.
I know. I just want to know how much I'm going to screw Chad over if I do this, though.
I mean, the Night Hunter will attack everyone in his vicinity.
I know.
And only after that will he grab Ben, right? So he'll make sure that Alpheus is dead if Ben is there. Or, I mean, I guess if Alpheus runs off, I don't think they would. No, because that's not the goal. The goal isn't to kill the people who. I just backing up on that. So if Alpheus runs off, or if someone runs off, it's not going to pursue him. But like he's going to ensure that there's no resistance to Ben being taken.
I have 9 fate, but I'm just going to use 1.
Okay.
I'm just going to use 1. I feel like the chances are, it's a 75% chance, right?
Yep.
I think. Yeah,
more or less,
still pretty good chance. So remaining ob 1, dice 2.
I knew it.
You are so lucky, Chad. You are so lucky.
I knew that you were going to fail that for some reason. Okay, wow.
Yeah. Why didn't you use both?
Because to be honest, Alyssa doesn't care enough about it to actually
she doesn't necessarily. Alyssa doesn't want you dead.
I don't want you.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee that it would kill me.
No, but it's like, I don't know.
It would be pretty dangerous, though. Yeah, so at this point, that means that, right, Malekith
is stealing himself on
exactly.
this.
He's like, no, I trust Alpheus. You're wrong, Maya. And then he just turns back to the guy and says, there might be a man with our son, and then describes Alpheus and says, don't kill him, please. You don't necessarily have to bring him along, but if he's willing to come and you can explain to him who you are and what you're doing, then great. But please don't kill him. And the man nods and says, of course. You are the employer. I'll follow the job to your specifications. Maya stews in the corner.
Pretty much.
Cool.
Yeah, she's definitely not happy.
I'm sorry, I'm blind. I didn't know who I was killing.
Well, the zombies aren't blind, so.
I
Cool.
will-
Yeah, so the zombies and their handler head off. Who would like
Okay.
to? Who do we want to pick up with next? Josser or Alpheus? Do we want to meet the general?
Yeah, we can meet the general. That's fine.
Let's do it. So it was you and Ben going to the place, right? And it was the thug staying behind, or no,
Thug
he
was
agreed
staying
to
just
come
outside to keep watch.
Yep, to keep watch, and then he said, if they come, I'm alerting you and then running away. That's what he said. Cool. So we got Spiridon's Manor here. General Spiridon.
Oh, what's that?
So this is his manor.
Oh, that's cool.
So Ben Asher and Alpheus heading in. Oh, that's way too big. So are you gonna try to like just go up to the gate and knock? Are you
what do
going
I
around to a
see?
side entrance? So like it's on like a hill, right? And there's like a wall and a ridge around it, right? So you'd have to like climb up a ridge and then over like a wall to get over any other way, other than like the main gate. But walking up to the main gate, there's like a little road leading up here, and there's like a guardhouse right here that you'd have.
Yeah,
to
I
pass.
would walk up to the gate and see if I see anyone.
Yeah, so like there's probably like a guard in the guardhouse right over here, that like calls out and says,
Where's the guardhouse?
right to your left, basically, right? So you're like walking up, and there's like this building outside the wall.
I see.
Yeah, and a guy calls out, "Hey, you!" and then steps out, and says, "What are you doing here? What business do you have with General Spiridon?" And it's like a Kyrie's, soldier with armor and a spear.
I don't know what to tell. Because before I thought I was going to be here with
Titan. Yeah.
with Titan, because Titan would have had more reason.
Yeah,
Well,
Titan's like a minister of the government, right? So you're just a random dude. A dude of a different country, actually.
yeah. We are here seeking audience with the general, former general.
And the soldier just like kind of gives you a once over. And he says, "I wasn't informed of anything. General Spiridon does not usually receive visitors." Like tightens his grip on his spear.
Hold on. Trying to look at my character so I can think about how to approach this. So I want to persuade him to let me in, and my argument will be that I have a proposition for the general, which could yield him great riches and prestige as the liberator of a country.
Okay. I mean, I think you can at least make a persuasion check on this guy. With that, like to at least go check with Spiridon and see if he'll receive you.
Okay.
So go ahead and make that. Let's see what your ob is going to be. Your ob will be 3 because he's, a soldier.
I don't think I can fork in much or anything.
Yeah, maybe not.
No, but I have persuasion 7, so
Yeah,
I
it's
think
true.
I'll be okay.
You could probably
3.
fork in etiquette.
Do I know their etiquette though? I feel like I don't.
Maybe not, but like, I mean,
I'll take it.
Yeah, I think it's fine because like etiquette. You have a 5 in it, right? Like this is you just kind of like in general, and you get 2 dice with a 5 fork, or is it? I always forget which one is 5 and which one is 7.
It's 7 is for
7 for yourself, 5
fork.
for someone else.
5 is help. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
think
one fork.
Yeah, I think 1 fork for etiquette makes sense here. You're just good at that sort of stuff. Nice. Yeah.
Sweet.
Very good. All
Well,
3
let's
sixes
see
as
what
well.
happens.
Yeah, so he nods slowly and he says, "All right, I will go check with General Spiridon and make sure that he is and relay him your offer." And the gate opens slightly and he goes off. And I think you're waiting there for a little bit. And you start to hear like some like sounds from behind you, like down the road a ways,
no.
and you're like, Titan is like on his way probably. But that's like the moment. So he doesn't like show up first. The soldier comes back right after you like notice these sounds, but you have like this sense of urgency now as like he comes back out. And he says,
So what did he say?
He says he has no need for riches or glory, and to go F yourself. And he like he like is apologetic about it, but like
I don't know how to appeal to this guy, so
yeah. And like you persuaded the soldier to go like talk to him for you, but like the thing is now you have to know what.
Okay, well now I need protection immediately.
Right, okay, yeah. So what do you say then?
So I tell him, I don't know, I don't want to beg him. I don't want to say like, I'm begging you, please help us. We're running from an evil slave driver.
Yeah.
You know what I tell him? I say, okay, so I say, please, we're being pursued by a man who intends to kidnap this young boy here. And we just escaped and we're here for another reason, but we need your help. If you can protect the boy, I'll be in your debt forever. Even if you can't help me.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a different persuasion check for this dude, because like it's basically just like whether or not they'll help Ben.
Yeah, I mean, can I ask him to help us both, and if he won't help us both, at least help Ben.
Sure. Yeah, and I think this would be. It's not so much like you're trying to get an audience of Spiridon as just like, please let us in the gate,
like,
just for like a second,
us.
like
yeah,
and so we don't get killed by this dude. Yeah. I think this will be an of 4 though, because like you're kind of changing the story, and he's like, okay, you didn't tell me about this guy before, like what's going on?
Yeah.
But
still, I didn't know he was right there.
Yeah, exactly. It's still not super hard though for Alpheus. I don't think you can fork etiquette on this one though.
No.
I don't
but
know
I have a
if
call
it's
on for persuasion,
proper etiquette to
well, let's see what I
just
get.
let anyone in.
4.
Hey, there you go. All you needed. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
4 and 4. Yeah, he gives you a sympathetic look and he says, well, you can come inside the gate for a moment if you're truly worried about that. Maybe you have some other offer for General Spiridon. And he looks sympathetic, like he's okay, that is a child. Like I don't want the child to get killed if that's what you're saying is true. So he like ushers you guys in for a moment, right? And then like goes back to his post. It basically just says like, wait here, like wait out in the like outer yard. Where do you like stay right there by the gate? Do you like duck around to the wall so the Titan doesn't see you? Like,
no,
do you go to the gate and mock Titan?
no.
Yeah. I'm on the other side.
I wouldn't do that because the guys probably
Titan just throws a knife
would
through
this
the bars.
guard know who Titan is?
Maybe, you don't know.
What if? Yeah. So, I don't know. Now I feel like I have to change my story again, and they're not gonna like that.
Yeah.
Because now I'm thinking I should have led with, I'm here with the rightful king of Sinia or something, and be like, and he seeks audience with the general. Maybe that would have worked.
That'd have been one way to do it. But
I feel like it's too late for that. I don't know.
And I think it's par for the course for Alpheus to only think of this after the fact.
Yeah.
Just fast talk your way.
For me too.
Fast talk your way as quickly as possible into a situation that's like better for you, and then realize, oh, dang it.
I need to talk to the general before Titan can. I think, but I don't know how to do that.
There's like a guard in front of the door here, right? Like to the actual house. That's like barring your way in there. But you were allowed into the yard at least.
But there's another gate or there's a door to get in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I would rather be arrested by this general or not killed. I don't want him to kill us.
Like imprisoned.
Than be caught by Titan again.
True. Yeah, I mean, 3 options I see is like wait by the gate to like talk to the guard and Titan when Titan shows up, right? Hide and just like see if the guard can push off Titan and like not tell him that you're here, or try to press forward into the door and be like,
well, that's what I'm thinking. Or like break in or something,
right?
Like sneak in.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, there's like a whole yard here, so you could like, we'll go over here to the garden and then be like, break in the window.
I'm trying to think of what type, and because Alpheus wouldn't break in. He wouldn't. That's not what he would do. Alpheus would probably talk to the second guard, so I can talk to the second guard, right? And he doesn't know what I talked to the first guy about.
I mean, he probably knows something of what you said, but you can. There's a different person, so you could try to make a different role, maybe. As long as you give him a different reason, right?
Because he might let us in, or he might go talk to the general. No, the general's going to be mad.
Oh,
this is hard.
I guess Knossos was here with you again then. So I think what happened probably
wasn't it that he said that he was standing off to the side though, and then once
I think we skipped past it at this point, but I think while you guys were waiting for the guard to come back, he ran back up the road and was like, "They're coming," and then took off into the jungle, right?
Oh, so he dipped.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. What do you do? So you can still talk to the guard.
We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait until Titan comes and then start asking that guard to like saying, "That's him. That's him. That's the guy that's chasing us."
You're waiting at the gate.
Yeah, we're gonna wait where we're at. Scared.
Okay. Sounds good. Titan strolls up, and once he's like walking up, like looking, him and his soldiers are looking around, but as soon as he sees that like you're just there standing on the other side of the gate, he just like starts walking very slowly forward and just has a glare at you. And he's not paying attention to the like soldier who like calls out to him and says, "State your business," and he just looks straight at you, Alpheus, and he says, "You little turd."
Leave us alone, Titan. You can't get in here.
I can indeed get in here. I'm a minister of. I'm part of the Ministry of Information. I could order this soldier to open the gate.
Hey, I'm doing something.
And the soldier just like steps forward and says, "I'm sorry, sir," like to Titan, but these travelers are under the protection of General Spiridon now, and you'll have to go through him to get to them. And Titan just like steps over to the soldier, and he like raises an eyebrow, and he says, "Soldier, you really don't want to get between me and Alpheus. You see, me and him, we have a history, and that history is going to end with some blood and some knives. Either, you could also be on the wrong end of that blade, if you so desire, but I would step out of the way if I was you. And he's just going to try to like intimidate him or something. Let's see what he actually has at
Well,
his
I have a
disposal.
question. So
Yep.
does it matter if I tell this guy like if I yelled and said, well, I don't know. I don't have to tell him that Ben is the king, but like he's trying to kidnap Ben or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't matter who he is. He's a kidnapper. He's trying to get this kid. Like it doesn't matter what minister of whatever he is. He's still a bad guy. Like appeal to the guard's conscience and not his.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have Titan make the roll first,
authority.
and
Okay.
then you can do something if it fails or succeeds.
Yeah, we'll see.
So he's making a roll just to intimidate the dude. And he fails. I mean, he has fate though. He's done a lot of stuff, so I'll have him roll to try to succeed here, and he does not. Yeah. So the soldier, stands his ground. This dude, way to go. And he says,
Way to go, Alpheus. The crazy ideas somehow work.
I'm sorry, sir, but you will indeed have to kill me before you harm that child. And I think Titan just steps over to him and stabs him in the neck.
Stabs him hard.
Right?
He's gonna fight him.
Yeah.
But it has to be like an actual fight, no? Or is he just lose?
There's only one soldier out here right now. Like there's others in the guardhouse. They haven't actually like come out yet. I think that he's gonna stab him, and depending on how well the roll goes, this will be like, can he just stab him and then be like, all right now, everyone, like you're listening to me now. Or if it's like he stabs, doesn't kill the dude, and then all the guards come out and like start fighting, right?
Yeah, because I think the general's gonna be pissed off at him for killing his guard.
Probably, but I think Alpheus has pushed Titan over the edge a little bit.
Good, I hate him.
Yep. All right, so let's see, get 3 forks here. And so he rolled a 6, and we'll have the soldier roll in response. So the soldier's going to try to just like block and then subdue Titan, right? Like slam like one of his spear into a kneecap or something to get Titan to like go down, but not kill him. Yeah, good luck, soldier. Only got a 3. He, valiant attempt. But I think Titan just stabs him in the neck. So this poor soldier, who, I grew to love and then will now mourn, gets stabbed in the neck, chokes on his own blood, and falls down to the dirt.
For funsies, does the guard get an armor roll?
No, because it's like it's outside of the like proper combat stuff, right? This is just like intent based. Does he kill him? Does he not? Sort of a thing. Titan found the weak spot in the neck, and just takes him out. And I think basically Titan like brings out whatever his like proper like ring or signet ring or sigil of the Ministry of Information for Kyrides, right? And it's just like, does anyone else want to get in the way of the law? And I think that's enough to like make at least the soldiers in the guardhouse like just like not.
But are they actual soldiers, or
they're
are
like his personal guards, or they're like Spiridon's personal?
But he's
guards.
not a part of the official government anymore. So why do they care?
I think they're intimidated enough by Titan's show of force here that at least right like in the moment right now they don't do anything, right? They're like just like, this guy's dangerous, like we shouldn't do anything.
But he's still outside the gate.
Yes, exactly. And the guard next to you isn't going to open the gate for him necessarily, right? So yeah. Titan like the soldiers don't do anything on the outside, but Titan like storms up to the gate, puts his arms right on the bars, and he says, do I have to kill more guards before you open the gate, Alpheus?
I ain't opening the gate. Do I have to roll to notice like who's the head guard that I can see?
That's a good question. Yeah, there would be someone.
Or is the only guard I can see the one
I think
like
it's the only
right here
one
by the door?
Yeah, that you can see right now is just that guy. There's probably going to be more that come quickly because the guy just got stabbed. But think
it's not like there's an alarm blaring.
Right. But I think what happens though is like you just hear a rough, deep voice from behind you. And General Spiridon is just standing on his doorstep, right? Just like, what is going on here, sort of thing.
That's what I was hoping would happen.
And what? Where is this character?
I'm gonna tell him this kidnapper has just killed one of your guards.
Yeah. So here's
you say, who are you?
Here's Spiridon. Yeah. Who the heck are you? Yep. There he is. So there's Spiridon, played by Jeff Bridges. Yeah, a deep, gruff voice. And he's, I won't say them myself, but he's full of expletives. And he's just like, what is going on out here? Who's killing my guards? And like the soldier right behind you, Alpheus, just turns and starts like frantically explaining the situation. He's like, but he said he was part of the Ministry of Information, and Spiridon just like steps out. And then he turns and looks at you, Alpheus, and he's like, who the heck are you?
Who am I? Do I have a title anymber? Or am I just a nobody?
You were once the bluest robe.
Yeah, the bluest robe. So, I don't know what to tell him. I wanted to tell him, like, appeal to my old station, but I think I just tell him, I think I bow or do whatever's like polite in their culture. And
that sounds like an etiquette roll.
Okay. I'll do that.
Let's make it up 3.
Skills. Oh, wait.
If you succeed this one, then you can get a bonus die on your whatever next test you make towards him.
Okay. No forks.
Don't
that I can tell. Top 3?
Yep. Nice. Wow, 3 6s too. Yep. So you won't get a bonus die because it's just on the ob, but you do succeed and bow correctly.
So do I put a dot on routine or
routine on etiquette?
Or do I need that because I have 5?
If you have 5, then you don't need it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I do the customary bow or whatever coyotes they do, and then I say, "Sir, my name is Alpheus," and then I kind of like nod my head to Ben for him to do the same greeting to the guy.
Yeah. He bows and he says, "I am Ben Asher, my lord, General."
And I say, I am the boy's protector, and this man at your gate who just murdered one of your guards is trying to capture this boy, and we fled to you for assistance from wherever we were. We were captured and escaped, and now we're here.
And Titan's just like rolling his eyes. He says, General Spiridon, I regret that I had to kill one of your men, but he was interfering with official Kyrides business, and you know better than anyone. And Spiridon just cuts him off, and he's just like, I've never cared what Kyrides has ever said. Not even once. Not even when I was working for them. I know who you are, Titan, and I've gotten your messages. I'm not interested in talking to you. But he like turns back to you, Alpheus, and he says, but that doesn't mean that I'm just going to take you in either. You're going to need to give me some sort of explanation here. Why were you captured? Who are you? And who's the boy?
Hold on. Now I have to think about what to tell him.
Yes, indeed.
Well,
You
I
just-
mean,
you just
do
tell him the
I
truth.
care if? Yeah, do I care if he? I don't think I care if he knows.
No, I mean,
Who
you
Ben
want him
is.
to know, right?
Yes. So, I look at him and say, "The boy is the rightful king of Sinia. We've come to seek your help, but Titan intends to use the boy for his own gain. He captured us, bring us to you to try to persuade you to join his cause, and we escaped, and that's how we got here."
And I may miss it, but did you say that Ben was the king?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's the rightful king of Sinia.
Sounds good. Yeah, go ahead and make a persuasion. You know, the one thing Alpheus does in this game.
Yes.
It's just a walking.
He can
persuasion
only
machine.
talk. I can't fight. I can't
Yeah,
do
yeah.
anything else.
Maybe we're about to get a whole, you know, blacksmithing arc for Alpheus. Just, you know, working for Spiridon's a blacksmith. So your ob is 5. Luckily for you, being a soldier actually makes you a little bit more pliable to things like this. And
Can I fork in bureaucracy? What actually is
maybe-
bureaucracy?
Bureaucracy is like the ability to get things done in a bureaucratic system, right? Like to
Oh, then
push
no.
things forward. I think it's peripheral, but not enough to, I think, for a fork.
What about rule of law? Because maybe
I mean, do you know Kyrides law, though?
kidnapping's illegal.
I mean, it might not be, depending
I
on who
don't know.
it is,
I
right?
think it is. Kyrides.
there might be exceptions.
Well,
like
he
you
doesn't
can't-
care about the law anyways, right?
It didn't sound like it, so I'm not sure. That
Whatever.
would be a
I'm
good
just gonna.
fork. Yeah,
I'll just use my call on and all my fate if I have to.
sounds good. You also have 4 persona.
Can I use? How many can I use?
You can use up to 3 on one roll.
Well, what am I trying to persuade him of?
So this is just like buy the story and give you like protection from Titan, right?
Okay,
It's not like come back and help us with Sinia. Yeah.
Wait, I have 4 persona.
It's just like,
Did I get any persona or fate from last time? But I had to leave early.
I think I added it, right?
I don't know.
I should have.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Last session there were only like a couple of beliefs that got worked on by anybody.
Okay.
I think I added them for you.
I'm gonna just use 1 for now. 1 persona. Base op 5.
Hey,
Oh, I got it.
Nice. You can mark that difficult test though. Hey, you might actually advance it soon.
Persuasion?
Yeah,
Get
you're.
8. Persuasion 8.
Did you just mark that difficult?
Yeah, I did.
Nice. Okay, so you need 1 more challenging and 3 more difficults to advance it.
Okay. That's a
Man.
lot.
Oh,
Good
you
thing
also.
you didn't do any forks, so you wouldn't have gotten the difficult. If you'd
I
forked
went
in
ahead
stuff.
and added your persona to it there.
Oh.
Once you get a certain amount of fate, persona, and deeds points on persuasion, you can shade shift it too. He has 15 fate in it right now. So
What do I need? How much more do I need?
well, you need a deeds point at first thing, which is
Oh,
like
I don't have any of those.
Yeah, it's like the highest Artha award you can get, and it's for like
okay.
when Alpheus like saves Sinia even after he betrayed it, that will
Then
be the
he'll
point
get
where
a
he gets a
deeds
deeds,
point.
right? That's the sort of thing that it's for. Or if he like sacrifices himself to save Ben and like takes a mortal wound or
Yeah,
something like
like-
that, right?
If you literally had to, like, say, save Ben, but it's okay if you leave May behind, like, if that had actually happened, that
Yeah.
would be along the lines of a deed.
Oh,
kind of
okay.
thing.
Yeah, I mean, if like you had failed the roll with the guards, right? And they're like, no, we're not letting you in, and then you're just like, no, but just the kid, please, just the kid. And then you stood there and you took the knife for Ben, like, and just like you're not getting the kid. That's a deeds point for sure, right?
Okay.
That's the sort of thing we're thinking of.
All right. So I win the roll.
Yes. So he will give you sanction, but not necessarily like go with your quest yet necessarily.
Yeah.
So yeah, he says, all right, well, there's going to be more conversation there for sure, rightful king of Sinia, my butt, but it's not the stupidest story I've ever heard. Titan basically just says like, piss off, like, get out of here.
Oh man, that's awesome. I
And
hate Titan.
but this is the thing, right? Titan's going to escalate now because
Yeah, he's gonna come back with an army or something.
yeah, you know what he does? I think at first he like clenches his fist on his knife, right? And is like, am I gonna do something? He looks around, like the soldiers like are starting to come out of the guardhouse, like looking dangerous. And
Is he alone?
No, he has like some thugs with him, right?
Okay.
And I think other assassin types too. He has like a cadre of guys helping him. But I think he like seems to be getting angry, and then he like takes a deep breath and he goes, "Fine, very well, Spiridon. I will let you have them. Honestly, more trouble than it's worth, I think." And then he like turns, and then like turns back, looks over his shoulder, and he says, "I hope the next time we meet, Alpheus, you'll have your wits about you." And then he just walks off, and his posse walks off with him. And I think Spiridon like is like frowning. He says, "Double all guard patrols," to like the guy next to him. And he looks back at you guys and he says, "All right, come on in. We'll have someone make you some, bring us some beer and we can talk about it. Whatever story you've concocted, you can tell it to me then." And then like walks in. And I think
Thank you, General.
yeah, as you say that, he says like you say thank you, General. We're the shot is on his face, like, and we're looking over his shoulder at you. And we just see his face, like he's thinking like he remembered something, or like something about the way you said it, like sparked something in his brain, and then and then like keeps walking. Cool. Let's cut to Joser, shall we? What's Joser up to?
I'm not sure. There's a couple of things I could work on. Oh, I might do the first thing first and just go down the list. I want to find some masons to talk to.
Okay, yeah. Sounds par for the course for the sort of weird stuff that Joser gets up to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's head over to Psychus, shall we? So this is probably the Artisan District, which is right nearby the Foreign Quarter.
Yeah, I don't want to go there.
Okay.
I want to go find some Sinian ones.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you're in the Foreign Quarter, trying to find some Sinian masons. Sounds good. That sounds like a circles roll for like a more or less common occupation, right?
Yep.
Let's take a look real quick here. Yep. Every time I play Burning Wheel, I learn something new about the system, and most recently, I learned that you can circles up just, even if you don't have a life path, as long as it's like a broad enough occupation.
Yep.
So I'm thinking, I don't know if Mason. I'm trying to decide if it's a broad occupation or an uncommon occupation. I mean, it's not like broad like a farmer, right? Like farmers are obviously much more numerous than Masons.
Yep.
But I'm trying to decide what that range is.
I don't know if I will go the regular way.
Yeah, let's go with the uncommon. It's gonna be an op 3, I think, total.
Okay, I can do that. Mm-hmm. Mhm. Mason. Because apprentice artisans get Mason.
Say again.
Apprentice artisans get Mason.
That's what you're looking for.
Yep. They also get jargon, which is what I'm looking for as well.
Mhm.
Let's see. Could I make an anticipation-wise linked test?
Sure. What do you do that for exactly?
Basically, saying that when I was doing my surgery and stuff, I was for the stuff with the Sinian refugees, I was also anticipating the fact that I would need various different occupations.
Right. So you're like making a list as you're talking to everybody of like
Yep, my sheath of notes includes
okay.
list of occupations.
Yeah, sure. You can make a roll for that. Abatu?
Can I get city-wise on that or street-wise, one of those?
I don't think so, because like I don't know if the actual like city part of it is actually relevant here.
Yeah.
They're kind of like in a weird part of the city. They're not in their own city. I don't know if that's relevant.
In that case, would streetwise apply instead?
I don't think so. Right? Like, 'cause it's just like knowing back alleys and things typically.
It's also the etiquette of the city streets.
Right, but I don't know if apprentice artisans are using streetwise or whatever, right? So I don't know if I don't think that applies either. If you're trying to find an urchin, yeah, for sure. Or someone else that I would have streetwise.
Okay. In that case, I'll just do astrology and write that in. And specialize. Okay, that doesn't help. Let's see, circles wise. So if it's the other one, if it's the OB3 version, that bumps up to OB4 version. Should be challenging, which is fine because I needed that anyway.
Yeah, that's a fail.
Can I get fortuitous surgeon as a reputation since it's the Sinians?
Sure, yeah. Cool. Yep, you've had your conversations with all of them.
Okay, circles with 1 advantage. And a voice of 4.
Yikes.
Cool. Yeah, well,
so I mean,
but
like
my circles goes up. So
nice. I guess like the possible answer here is just there aren't any, right? Like, because I mean, who knows who came over in the boats, right? A random assortment of people, and maybe artisans didn't. Depends on what are you actually hoping to get out of this exactly? Just so I know, like whether or not it would
just
be
masons,
right? But you just want to learn jargon, right? Like,
no, I just want to hire a guy.
Oh, hire a guy. Okay. Yeah. Let's say there aren't any Sinian masons that came because you could still hire like a Setkessian mason. It's just going to be probably not what you wanted in terms of the sort of person you're looking for. Someone who you saved from a plague makes is a better friend and ally than a random person from the city. So yeah, I just don't think there were any, for whatever reason.
That's all good.
Because like I could have like a bunch
Or
of
at least
masons
not the
hate
ones
you.
that I find.
Yeah. I could have a bunch of masons hate you, but I don't know if that's interesting enough.
Okay.
I think we're still failing forward either way, but I'm more interested in you having to go to one of your own countrymen to hire a mason. Because he probably doesn't have the right religion and hates Hagiel and is all about death stuff.
Man. I don't think. Trying to think what other occupations could do the thing that I want. Got a bunch of tents. Presumably, we have a tent maker on board.
I'd assume so.
Yeah. In that case, I might go for something like more common, like just a general carpenter or just someone who does tents
of
and
some sort.
Yeah. I don't mind what it is really. It's I just need to get it arranged,
sort of stuff.
Yep.
Sounds good. That's an odd one.
Mm-hmm.
Still use your reputation if you like.
Yeah, I'll do that then. Circles up with one advantage. Base of 1.
Nice.
I find a guy.
There you go. So what do you need this guy for exactly?
I want to build like a tabernacle stage thing.
Oh, right. Of course. Yeah, I forgot about that belief. Okay.
Yeah, if I could find a mason, I would have made it a proper auditorium.
Sure.
That proper plays could have been done later on.
Yes.
But I didn't. So
a simple stage will work enough for now. Yeah, so you find like a carpenter or whatever. That can like make you some like a simple platform or something. Sure, yeah. Probably like payment or some sort of agreement has to be kind of struck here. Unless you want to make a roll to be like, hey, I saved your life from the plague. You should do this for me. Which is also an avenue of getting a favor from this guy. Up to you.
Well, let me just check something resources wise because I have an idea and I want to see if it's feasible. I hate not having my proper PDF or my book on me.
Right,
because I can't just done. Yeah, I'm back on my original, but it hasn't got all the things that
okay.
I haven't installed everything back on it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And browsing it with a browser does not allow me to just Control F things, sadly. Here is resources. But yes, essentially, yeah, I just want him to make, if he's just like a handyman tent maker, then just a symbol stage will do.
Yep.
I'll probably repurpose it with something later on, but not for now. For now, I am fine. That thing.
Let me see what. Skill they'd be rolling and how much they'd have in it. Okay. This would be like just like a city maker apprentice with mending, probably.
Yeah, I'm not. Probably something like. Yeah. So yeah, Jace will just have a basically chat with them, and try and get a simple. He doesn't need anything fancy, so it's up to you what kind of ob it'll be for that.
Yeah, so I mean, it just depends on how you're gonna convince him to do this or pay him to do this or whatever. That'll be the first step, right? Is like him agreeing to do it. Because you made the circles test, but like matter of payment mainly is the main thing. You could do some alternative form of payment, such as guilting him for into giving you a free favor, or just convincing him with some other reason. But I think that's the next step here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably try and persuade him, at least initially, to do it. Trying to think what other purpose I could have for it. I'll probably Joseph probably says I am thinking for multiple purposes, but I think that it would be easier for all of you if there was a distribution center for the materials that the Church of Hagel is granting. I mean, there may be other purposes for it too. Perhaps announcements can be made, debates had, that kind of thing. But also it would serve as a more central distribution point to give all of you what we desire to give you in the first place.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a persuasion test. You're just like, this is good for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Help the community. Use your skills.
Not only that, it's. I think Joseph kind of rolls his eyes and he says, "It is also, the big brass will be much happier to think that, yes, we have an outreach in the community." But well, keeps them what is happy for them gives us more food. So shrugs.
Cool. Yeah. Sounds good to me. Yeah. Sounds like a persuasion.
Persuasion, probably like rhetoric and soothing platitudes.
Yeah.
Maybe bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy makes sense. Yep.
Yeah, anticipation wise, and maybe church politics wise.
I think we'll not do the last one. I don't know if this guy cares about church politics. But bureaucracy I think covers that.
Yeah.
In a more secular way.
3, 4. And not folk astrology, of course, because
and this guy's will is 4.
Mm-hmm. And 5 works.
Oof, that was not a good roll.
That
was a terrible roll.
I will spend 1 fate on it.
No sixes either. Dang.
Yeah. I'll just spend the 1 fate on it for the funsies of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've started putting fate in something.
Might get lucky. 1 in 12 chance. Nope. Very unlucky with a 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think he crosses his arms and he's like, I see what you're trying to do. I have mouths to feed, of course, but I'm gonna need more of a reason than just helping the common man to do this sort of thing. I've been out of work for months now, and I need cash. If you want me to do this, I need cash.
There's the nods. So, yes, that does make sense. I mean, not a whole lot of sense, but some.
Well, I would hope it would be a good amount of sense that you're going to be giving me.
I have very little resources of my own. I'm mainly just funneling things through your own leadership. So,
Well, then get them to pay me.
no, I have already maddened Malekith today. I don't think that is particularly beneficial for me to continue that direction.
I'm happy to build your platform as long as I get paid for it.
But tell me, how much exactly are you thinking?
Good question. Let me just check the resource obstacles real quick.
I have been reading through my notes, and I apparently have nothing on how much it costs to build something. It is quite devastating, especially just a tent.
I'm thinking an Ob2 resources test.
An intriguing thing. I shall consult the good Lord, the Sun, and see if he will bless me with money today.
The sun? He says.
Yes, it is a weird thing. I mean, personally, you should understand this. The tent is for you. I mean, we priests of Hagiel would just sit under the sun. It is for your comfort that the tent exists in the first place.
Yeah. Are you paying me or not?
See, I'm asking the sun. Hold your hobby horses.
I am asking the sun. Shut up.
Hello, sun. And he just
stare.
Stares up in the middle of it. Hello, sun.
Dad?
Hello, Hagiel, are you there? I cannot see you. I'm blind. The sun is too bright. Okay, I'll try and open end resources and with faith, and then do that. See if I can get my Ob1 faith test out of the way. Whew, I succeed on that one.
Nice.
Thank goodness. And then yes, I'll resources it up. I'll use the Sinian Hope Limited Fund, I guess.
Ob2.
Mm-hmm. I don't suppose what's his name wants to join me on it.
I think you're on your own on this.
Bodyguard. Yeah, Bodyguard doesn't want to pay for anything. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, Bodyguard is here.
Him.
Yeah, Sadiq is here. He has a giant a big kofesh, or kopesh, or however you pronounce that. The kind of like curved Egyptian sword. And yeah, he's just lounging nearby, arms crossed, watching the whole thing with an amused expression.
Yep. Thalia is equally lounging on the perfect opposite of Josa, so that she doesn't need to see him. Let's see. Funds 2 and Ob 2. Oh, actually, wait. Let me just open end resources for a second. Oop. Funds 2. Subschool 2.
The son said yes. Hands him back of money.
Hang on. One moment. Not this.
Is the son an ATM?
The son is wondering if you accept its always being there as payment. I told it no.
The son says, do you accept checks?
And so it has shone down its rays, and it turns out that the sun's rays are gold, and so I have given that to you.
Very nice. Hefts the bag. I'll get on your platform.
Excellent.
Starts, yeah.
Thank you for that.
Cool. Yeah, so that'll take a couple of days.
Yep. Now, I need to go talk to Maya.
Okay. Where's Maya when Joser finds her?
Storming back by herself. Maybe with Malekith following.
No, Malekith, I think, probably went off to do some bureaucratic stuff with the Setcassian government, right?
Sure.
Sounds good. Yeah, so Maya's kind of storming back into camp, and Joser, you just like intercept her. Like, oh, hello.
Hello, Maya. It is a pleasure to see you again.
Joser, hi.
And you see this big mercenary type standing next to Joser now, and that's new.
I don't think I've met your friend.
No, you haven't. He is unimportant.
The name is
Oh.
Sadiq.
Pleasure to meet you, Sadiq.
Joseph's
Sadiq
paying.
unimportant.
She does like a courteous, bow to him.
Sadiq's just waving you off. Joseph like, no, shut up. Like we're having the civilized conversation here, and he just says, Joseph's paying me to stab things for him,
Oh,
particularly people who try to stab him.
Yes.
I was going to say, I certainly hope he has not hired you to stab any of our people or myself.
Yeah, if they attack him.
Well, I'll be sure to pass the message along.
If you're an assassin, you will fear my blade. But otherwise, you're fine.
I'm sure the message has been received. And then she turns to Joseph and just says, what can I do for you?
Yeah, and Joseph goes like that, like twists his fingers a little bit, and basically the bodyguard Sadiq moves forward about 30 feet. Sorry, moves back about 30 feet, and Thalia moves forward 30 feet. So then
space on either side, and they're
just out of earshot. I was like, Maya, it is. I have been meaning to talk to you about certain things that need to be done and certain problems that are in the way.
Yes, of course. What problems are you referring to? So problems with the citizens?
No, there are certain. Not bureaucracy, but procedures that would go much quicker if, the other day was an example of how my conversations seem to have caused conflict and hesitancy. I am wondering if there is...
Trust me, it wasn't you that was causing conflict, though you didn't help. It had nothing to do with you, but continue.
Yes. You see, there is elements to which I am finding myself untrusted by your people, or people are uncertain. I've recently had a conversation with a gentleman in order to build a amphitheater for the debate and for perhaps continued plays. It did not work. I have settled for a tent for now, but there are certain elements within your people, and perhaps even your leadership itself, that do not trust me still, despite all my efforts for the last 3 months. I was wondering if it would be possible for me to at least start by gaining your confidence, your trust. And I do not mean earn your trust. To earn your trust, I would have to show myself consistently trustworthy with small things for a year, and then tiny bit larger things for another year, and we do not have that time. I was wondering if we could expedite things. If there is some gesture I could do to just get it over and done with. We do not have years to play with. There are grander things going on here, and they will not wait for our petty squabbles.
I think Maya puts a hand in front of her mouth and just kind of chuckles a little bit. My trust is not given easily.
I am well aware, yes.
So you must understand.
That's why I'm asking to expedite.
I'm asking to expedite it. I am not saying that there will be nothing that I do in return. I am trying to gain it by doing something, not, proving myself, rather than just you give it to me. Is there something I can do? I have noticed that there is a Sophocles. I could have him move elsewhere. If that is a problem, there is. If there is something you wish to, I have heard that you are making inquiries about Carides. I could send someone in that direction. I have many things at my disposal. The sun looks on all parts of the earth except the parts that it doesn't look on, and we don't like to go there. So all the good bits have the sun. So
see that shadowy place over there? Never go there, Simba.
Never go there. Yeah.
Don't like it. So all the good parts have the sun. Gestures the sun. So anywhere good, I could do something.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what you could so your goal is to earn my trust, correct? I'm trying to think what that would actually entail if you actually. I feel like I know what it is, but I don't know how to word it.
Perhaps we could start with what things prevent you from trusting me. And we could work on demolishing some of them. Or even things that you would cause your citizens to not trust me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because my original thought was obviously like you could do something for Maya, right, that she would want, but I don't know that necessarily gains her your trust. Like she just says, Joser, you walked in the other day and said we were only second to Hagiel.
Correct, yes.
Not only do I believe that's bull, but I want to know why you would go around saying such grand gestures.
Simple. You are second only to Hagia.
Even to Thalia here, your own niece.
Yes.
You'd put us above your own niece.
Yes. Well, in simple terms, perhaps not. But that is not because she is more important or I'm more loyal to her.
If you were not more, that's the problem there, Joser.
Hagiel requires
the fact that you are not more loyal to those you have known longer shows me that you cannot be trusted.
On the contrary, it proves that I can.
I disagree.
I am loyal to one thing, Maya. One thing alone. And that is Hagiel.
And I am loyal to one thing
things.
alone, and that is my family.
Yes.
Both are gods.
Hagiel.
Surprisingly.
Hagiel requires many things of me. Among them are loyalty to my family, loyalty to my friends, and loyalty to, well, not to my church. They are secondary. Oftentimes, they are not even loyal to Hagiel themselves. The fact that you are a specific loyalty means something.
And what does that mean?
It means that I am conscious of you. There are... Perhaps I could tell you a story. It will be long-winded.
Then why don't we go inside? Then why don't we go inside away from the sun?
Excellent.
She gestures him to.
I know you enjoy a good story. Let me tell you it. Maybe you can make a play out of it one day.
Yeah, so you guys are sitting
down.
I
know a playwright I could introduce you to. She chuckles and then sits down.
Tell me, Maya, have you ever heard of Ben Sadet?
I don't know. Have I?
Maybe not. Just I don't know. Maybe just roll a die of fate. I don't know if there's a proper test here, but
okay.
Yeah. So no, you have not.
Oh. She just shakes her head.
That does not surprise me. It was destroyed almost to the last man 30 years ago by some cowardice in general. It was a city-state to the north of here. A little before that, about 4 or 5 years, there was a boy found on top of a mountain, the very top of the mountain, where there was a monastery to Hagia in Ben Sadet. The boy was found there. There was no sign of him being dropped off by anyone or anything to that extent. He was just there. It was as if he was gifted by the sun himself. When Ben Sadet was destroyed, there were almost no survivors. Some of our people, at a set guess, ventured over there to discover what had happened. They had disappeared, of course. We had very little information. And, of course, nothing was found except the ruins. Except for one strange occurrence. Maya, have you ever seen the sun not shine?
No, I can't say I have.
Yeah.
The sun stopped shining. Or at least not as bright as it normally would. And there was a brighter light. A small 4 or 5-year-old boy in the ruins of the monastery atop the mountain. Still alive. He was nestled in a small spot with a small amount of food near him and a small amount of water, as if people had known things were going to happen. I've told you previously that there are fewer mysteries than you think. It's just who knows them. That is very true. The future is known. It's just who knows it. That boy was picked up by that group and brought to Setges. I was on the ship that brought him here. There have been many things that I have learned from that boy, who is now a man. I trust him more than anything else in the world. I trust him as much as I trust myself. I'm going to show you something. It was a gift, a symbol of that boy's trust. I'm sharing that trust with you now. And he reaches up to his shoulder and pops off this golden scarab pauldron, and he hands it to you.
Why does this feel so familiar? Okay, she takes it.
Yeah, and it's like full dinner plate sized scarab. That's like
Okay.
been on his shoulder this entire time. And yes, it comes to life in your hands and starts like the little wings come out the back and flutters and like hovers in front of your face for a bit.
And her face is just like, I think she's just trying to be like, I think in her mind, she's like, again? Is everybody I know a god?
There is a reason I am loyal to Hagiel. It's because I know him personally. There are many things that are happening. And at times, it is possible that I may have to be more loyal to the outcome than even those around me. However, Sinia is not just a people. Sinia is also perhaps the instrument by which things may be solved. I don't know exactly how. He has not told me everything. There are fewer mysteries than you think, but I do not know them. I'm just told sometimes. I am trusting you with this because there is less space for deception. I am not sure if you know. Well, I've just told you. The gods, at least some of them.
They're dying and he was reborn. Yes, I know.
Oh, excellent. At least someone knows something. There are fewer mysteries than you think, I guess. Yes, they're dying. Someone is killing them. And I would rather keep Setges, or at least its leadership, away from Sinia. I'm trying to make...
I've come to acknowledge that myself as well.
Yes. I'm trying to strengthen Sinia and have it be independent so that it will not have to rely upon the leadership here. And part of that, at least initially, was, and still to an extent, is to provide them with a god that will seek their benefit. Aratos, while I do not believe he is responsible for some of the issues that we face, it is still, he is not exactly the best and most beneficial steward for the Sinian people.
I can agree.
Hagiel would provide food not even by the church, but simply because of his nature. He's the god of agriculture. He can provide weather. He watches over us as the sun, or at least he did. I am still not sure why the sun still exists if he's on it. I will ask him at some point. But these things must be prepared, and there must be some way to return Hagiel to his initial power.
Hey, Joser, you have my attention. You want my trust, though?
I do, yes.
Then I need to talk to him.
To Hagiel?
Yes. Once I talk to him, then you can have my trust.
State your case. And I will see. I will pass on the message.
I mean, really, this isn't like, because Maya's more now curious. Okay, so another god's out there that knows he's a god that died, and she's more curious, like what he knows. But I don't know that she has necessarily a case. I'd have to like think about that.
I would
I
happily introduce you, except that the gods are in danger. As you say, trust is not easily placed.
Fair enough. He seems to want me to trust you a great deal. And I think trust goes both ways. If I'm going to trust you, then I need to know who you place your trust in. That's my case. So that if he wants you to gain my trust, then I need to know the man. Just a meeting.
You want to make a roll on that?
I don't know. I feel like you're the one who's trying to get me to trust you.
I think that's Josh saying like there's a chance.
There's a chance. Like
Okay.
I'm. There are two rolls I could make here, and which one it is will depend on whether you succeed on this persuasion or not.
Okay, understood. Okay.
So will
what's
is
your
5.
Will? Okay.
Jester,
Yeah, there is probably a +1 to that because my instinct.
Because you're
So it's 6 total.
Yep, 6 makes sense.
Okay.
So persuasion is already at 6, so you're rolling same dice against the ob to start with. I think soothing platitudes make sense here. Like you were just like trying to be like, I just need to talk to him. Like you're being kind about it. You weren't like, I want to trust you, but I need to know the man. Like, yeah.
I feel like there's
I'd give you ugly truth. I'd give you ugly truth as well.
I don't know. I feel like there's a bit of falsehood in there, right? Because obviously, like I'm leaving a lot of stuff out of why I want to meet this man.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay, so I've got ugly truth, soothing platitudes, falsehood. Maybe a roll for etiquette. I don't know if that.
I don't know if
giving me soothing platitudes here.
Yeah,
so
I don't know if anything in the conversation so far has leaned towards that at all.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, then I guess I will just roll.
You have 4 personas still.
I mean, gosh, that would be cool to meet another god.
Maya becomes the planetary body around which all the gods orbit.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, so a 9 versus 5. God, would that even? Or no, 6. 9v6. It's still not great odds.
Not great odds. Spend up to 3 persona.
Yeah, I feel like I'll just use one.
Okay.
Oh, oops. I did not mean to get rid of any. Okay.
Yeah, and then just throw it on persuasion. That persona you're spending.
It's up 6. Ooh.
Well, you got a 6, 2 fate, and 2 dice.
Let's see. Okay.
I'll say this now before
Mhm.
the thing was it. If you get 5, Joseph will probably give you more. Like he'll give you the thing, but because of the instinct, he won't give you everything.
Makes sense to me.
Okay. I'll go ahead and use 2 fate.
Go for it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, yikes. Very unlucky with the fate today.
My fate have not been good. My other rolls honestly not
no
bad.
one's fate has been good today.
Yeah, no, not good.
Cool. So yeah, mark all that Artha spent and
yep,
there you go.
Did that. You know what I should have done is I should have I should have gone for a difficult persuasion roll there. Because I need more difficult tests. I don't need routines. Oh well. So there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
Joe's saying.
I wish I had 20 will worth of companions now. So I could get 1 extra die on a faith thing.
Church of Hagiel, can you come over here real quick?
Come out, I need to go. Just need some help here. I have 8 dice worth of friends, but I don't have 12 extra. Okay, so first thing Joseph will do is Joseph will say, give me 1 moment. And he kind of steps aside and looks up at the sun in his usual manner. And begins his usual spiel of, I take the name of Higil, my words, his will, my will, altering servant of he who was and will be. Is Maya to be trusted with the secret of Hagiel's location? And I'm going to try the Ob 5. I think it's Ob 5 one. It's the guidance. I don't know whether it becomes Ob 4 or whether it's. I have not checked that. I'm trying to do the guidance one, Caleb. If you have faith on you.
Sure, yeah. Let's check. Wherever faith is. Somewhere in the back here. Oh, was it in the human life paths section?
I don't think so. I think it's after magic, because it's in natural magic or emotional magic or something.
Yes.
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, okay.
Guidance. When the way is lost, the priest is Ob 5 guidance.
Got it.
I don't know that it becomes. Yeah, I'll keep it Ob 5 because that way if I succeed, I get a test on faith.
I mean, I think it does go down because I don't know if you have a choice with the believer trait, and it seems like it is affecting you. So I think it is Ob 4, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's all right then. You do faith. Do I spend a persona on this? No, because it's not. Because it's just a routine. I won't. Place obstacle 4.
Wow.
Nice.
Cool.
You would have gotten it even if it had been 5. Oof, 3 6s too.
Yeah.
Nice
wow.
job. Oh, that's actually probably why you got that high, because the 6s automatically reroll. No.
So, I guess this is more asking you, Alyssa. If you found out, like
his location,
yeah,
she wouldn't tell a soul. Not even Malekith.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you would definitely see, like, he's not exactly concealing it from you. So you see him like go heat stroke the same sweat that you've seen previously, like the heat stroke delusion kind of thing. And then he kind of takes a step, like slightly unsteady on his feet, and nods. And he probably like gestures over to because we're in like a reasonably secret location right now. So I probably gesture to what's his name? My bodyguard.
Sadiq.
His name already. Sadiq. Yeah, I gesture to Sadiq to just double check the perimeter.
Okay. Yep.
And
Clear.
then like gesture earmuffs for him.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I probably even like gesture you over to one side, Maya. And sit down like slightly over to one side.
She leans in.
And probably initially it just sounds like he's gonna do another prayer. But he says, I take my true name, Hagil. My words, my will. I am Hagil.
Why does that not surprise me?
There are fewer mysteries than you think. It's just who knows them.
So you pray to yourself?
I am not exactly sure what I did, or if I did it to begin with. It's possible that I caused myself to come down. It's possible I wasn't even killed. I don't know. All I know is that for some reason I still have divine connection. I still have access to at least some of my power. I still sometimes hear prayers. I mean, perhaps it is even because of my daughter. I don't know.
Like, am I like overthinking that? Is Thalia your daughter?
Yeah. Yes, that is her.
That was just Alyssa asking, but Maya would be much more subtle about it. She'd just be like, she like would just nod in understanding that like Thalia is your daughter.
Yep. Yes, she possibly even holds more of the bloodline than I do. I do not know if I set up a failsafe with her or what, but she has more divine nature than me. It's just she cannot call upon it. Her body resists damage as if it is still divine in some form.
Like Maya like thinks about that inside her head. She's like, holy crap, is my son the same way?
Not unless he's got the tainted legacy and stone gift.
Probably not.
According to the mechanics, no, but
no.
Yes, but that may be because my daughter was born when I was a god.
When you were a god,
rather than when I was incarnated.
Human. So. Yeah.
She was even reincarnated, she was even incarnated differently. She came into existence a year ago, or at least came forth as well, about a year younger than she is now, but much the same, with similar false memories and things. So
Maya just nods her head.
My purpose is what I told you is entirely true. I was found on top of a mountain. I was on board the same ship that Aguilera was. It's just I was on the ship. There was not on the same ship. It was just I was there.
I understand.
Yes. I do not know what I am doing. I know certain things. I know that the Sinians are important. I know who was killing or was probably killing the other gods. I know that there is things to be done. One of the thoughts I have had is that perhaps I did this myself. The Church of Hagiel stopped doing animal sacrifices. And I do not know if you know this, but animal sacrifices sustained or fed us or gave us power. The Church of Hagiel stopped that some time ago. It is possible that I told them to. I don't know. But what I am trying to do now is build my faith, build this divine essence to me, and ascend to the space I was before. Perhaps now not dependent on that. There is one other thing you should know. Have you ever heard the story of the Father of the Gods?
Yeah, common story
I'm
in
sure,
Sinia mythology, right? It's just the whole idea. It's like very similar to like the Zeus and the other gods overthrowing the Titans, right. Except it was like they're one, and instead of like a whole race of gods that they overthrew that were all their parents, it was just the one.
So the 5 overthrew the parent.
4 overthrew the one, right?
The 5 actually. There were originally 5 gods actually. Now that I know a little bit more about the world building. Who's because of the but and I don't know if Joser knows this. But in canon she left the pantheon long ago. But there were originally 5. Whether it's possible she wasn't around when you overthrew the father actually. So maybe I think she left before that. So yeah, so it's true that the mythology would be the 4 brothers overthrowing the father of the gods. And I think largely people have forgotten about the 5th.
And Pyrrhus was
one of them. Yep.
One of them.
Yeah, right. The 4 are Hagiel, Pyrrhus, Aratos, and Seraphim, which is the god of death.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The one that is killing all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a relatively common story.
Yes,
the 4 brothers. Yes. Well, one of at least the common stories around here is that the reason why they could only throw him away and not do it permanently was because Hagiel was fighting only half-heartedly. I did not think it was actually the right way to go about things. But if my divinations are correct, then he who was and will be is returning. And this time I will fight with my full strength and for the right side.
So I don't know. I'm not sure that
far above Maya's head.
I'm not sure that Maya's necessarily confused, but I'm a little. So you're saying that you want to fight with the father? Basically?
Yeah, I want. Hagiel wants to fight on the father's side.
Okay, that's what I thought you were saying.
Yeah.
Right. Is that because you believe Seraphim killed you?
No, it's nothing to do with that. I thought I've had many years, or at least whatever that version of me did, had many years to think it over. I changed my mind long before I was killed. Even just watching the total mess of things my brothers have done is more than enough to convince me that I was on the wrong side to begin with.
So you want Sinia? Is that what my understanding?
Not necessarily. I do not want Sinia, per se. But Sinia being healthy and strong would not only benefit it and benefit, well, it would counter both the cult of dead gods and the cult that seems to want to destroy everything. And
the Nakaim and the Darathrax, respectively.
no, I don't know those names. We never learned them. We never heard them over here in Setcast.
Yeah.
These having Sinia strong would counter them to begin with, and it would also be a path with their support and their faith in Hagiel. It would help me to regain the power I once had and perhaps ascend to have a greater chance of thwarting whatever designs they have. Especially if my suspicions are correct and I did this to myself.
Why do this to yourself, though, just so you could go back?
I do not think that being reliant on animal sacrifice is a particularly beneficial way of going about things.
So you wish to ascend with new energy.
I wish to ascend and be independent from those things so that I can simply serve. The Church of Hagiel now, with a little bit, as I say, bureaucracy is nightmare. But it would be, it is the word, it is more along the lines of what I wish to have. An actual selfless church that just feeds people who need it, hands out things, serves people. Whereas there will always be a transactional quality to every other church that we currently have. It is always give something and in return you receive blessing. I would rather bless without the bother. It is why I sent the storm to... I have no idea whether it was successful. I could find out. But hopefully it helped.
I hope so, too. I think our goals are the same, Joser.
I would hope so.
I think you need to talk to my husband.
Your husband, huh?
Yes.
Your husband is a fretful man.
Yes, he is. But he's a good man.
He's also a rich man. Rich men are problematic in my book. I will talk to him, but I will not promise him the same trust that I have given you.
I don't know why you've decided to place your trust in me over him.
I trust my judge of character. I have always had some kind of insight into people. It is hard for people to hide from the sun. You can always see the shadow.
Yes, and the sun always, I think, looks best when it's glistening off the sea.
That's a great line.
Yeah, but he's part of the god of fish. I will see. Pun not intended. Although it was a great pun. It was intended, I have decided.
So it might not actually work in the Sinia language properly.
Yes.
Yeah, so Maya will just say, again, your secret is safe with me.
Thank you.
But I do insist on you talking to Malekith.
I will. You have my promise. I will talk to Malekith.
You want
I
to
cannot promise I will talk to him about anything important, but I will talk to him.
Yeah. So the question is, does Maya? Like how would Maya will go about setting up that meeting? Obviously, this would be for like next session, but like,
yeah.
Obviously, she's not going to break Joser's trust and tell Malekith anything. But
No.
how are you going to frame it to Malekith, or are you just saying, Joser, you go talk to him, and Joser's going to set it up?
Hang on.
Man, we just got through this whole like no secrets between us thing. But she's really mad at him right now, so
Look, you said no secrets between you, and then there were secrets between you. I don't know if I trust you. Keep secrets. No. Hang on. I'm trying to check Jose's Manhunter because.
Well, and I think that's kind of what Maya was implying, right? Is that if you want to be part of the no secret circle, you gotta talk to my husband.
Yeah. Where's Maya?
If my husband can lie by omission and get away with it, I certainly can.
No, not that. I think if there's I could make a roll with Manhunter to see something that would make Joseph more inclined. I might just make a roll to see your intent.
Okay.
You might make that roll.
Faith roll?
Yep. No, not a faith roll. Manhunter roll.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yep. But I mean, his
special trait roll. Go. How does Manhunter work again?
So it's a knob 4. My instinct means that I can just would have been able to make the faith roll afterwards to see whether it was open ended. But I might do that just automatically because we thought of it. Boop.
So are you rolling a faith roll to open it?
Yeah, I'll just make a faith roll to open it and it now. Sounds so good. That we know whether it's there. Did that actually go through?
I don't see anything.
No, am I looking at the wrong thing? Who knows? I'll just do it again because why not? That works.
There you go.
Yes, it is open-ended, and then I will make my perception test. No helps. I will spend 1 persona on it. Perception.
Manhunter is a great trait.
So this is just to get my intent on like why I want you to talk to my husband.
Yeah, like something more along those lines. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, obviously, you're not going to know the full thing, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. That was a bad roll. 1-6.
Really bad.
Yeah, well, it would have already opened.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yep.
Can still, I guess, spend 1 fate and hopefully get 3 6s in a row. Yeah.
So he has no idea as to why.
I mean, like, I guess your guess best probably is just that, like, Maya feels like she's, like, way in over her head kind of a thing. And she's just like,
yeah.
That's probably your best guess, but
that makes sense.
But she's really surprisingly, like, cool about you being a god.
Yeah, very true.
It's just like,
Why am I
Yeah.
not surprised is the thing she said.
Yeah, I mean, with that poor of a roll, I think that for Joser, it's like he's so stressed about telling anyone about this
It just
that he
got
can't.
over his head. Yeah.
Like the fact that you're nonplussed about it really doesn't
Register.
twig with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Joser's not a people person either, right? So he just like doesn't read social cues very well.
Well, I mean, he has a special trait that allows him to read social cues pretty well, but he just failed, so maybe not.
He just failed. So, I mean, in this case, maybe because Maya's already done this, so it's just like her normal reaction would have been what she already did.
And so Joser's just confused.
Right. He's just like, why is she like so cool about this?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
No real reason to know why. Cool. Yeah. So I think do we just like cut
honestly,
it there?
I'm honestly really not shocked. I mean, you kind of tipped the hat last session with the whole scene of like, Malekith being like, he's weird. I was like, he's gonna be a god too.
Yeah, that's why I had it come out a bit earlier. Yeah. Like I actually brought this up this way because I figured, well, it's probably out, at least somewhat out, and suspected anyway.
Yeah, I like this a lot because it's right. Maya is kind of the midpoint between the two god brothers, and they're gonna have to like make up, right?
Well, yeah. So that's what I'm curious about because I guess Maya would want to know. Like, I mean, she wants them to talk, obviously, but I think she doesn't know like any myths about like their actual relationship.
Yeah, you can make a roll, right? You can make an untrained doctrine roll.
Doctrine roll to know the general.
You can also technically go talk to Calic. He's a priest.
Yeah,
like if you're actually curious about that. But yeah, that's probably something for next session.
I mean, yeah, I'm definitely curious. And I probably will just because like I'm just curious. Like especially if they are gonna meet, I'm gonna want to be there just to hopefully cool things down because I'm sure they're not gonna be. There's gonna be some tension there.
Either way, yeah.
Ooh, actually, what I might do, just to make this easy, or at least see how easy it is, what I might do is Joser will look at the sun again like an idiot, and he'll make an astrology test, asking the question of why does Maya want me to talk to what's his name? And see if that. Yeah, why does Maya want me to talk to Malekith? Because that might.
You said a faith roll?
Because if I get that. No, as in an astrology roll.
Oh, right. You have so many ways of getting these exact same sort of things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's kind of built that way for Joser. It's like, well, if I can't read it from them straight up, then I ask the sun. And if the sun doesn't tell me, then I ask the sun again.
But with faith. Yeah.
I look beyond the sun.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the sun is a star, but yeah.
In fact,
and we've decided that astrology and faith for him is literally just staring at the one sun. That's what it is. I don't know. He guess he reads solar flares.
I guess I have to make another faith roll to open end astrology.
Sure. It's not getting you any tests, so.
No, so it's just like testing whether my 6 dice can actually get me a 1, which is. Anyway, do that. That's fine. Let's see. So astrology, and then Forkian, the usual suggested doctrine and symbology.
Yep.
And then anticipation-wise.
Sure. Anticipation-wise is a good one for prophecies and astrology things.
And it's all 4, I think, for answering a question.
I think so. That sounds right. Yeah, getting an answer to a question.
1, 2, 3.
Because 3 is the auspices of a journey, 2 is a horoscope. So,
yeah,
you guys have made enough astrology rolls in the week below that I've pretty much memorized the opposite at this point.
Yeah. Here we go.
Nice.
That's
a good roll. Awesome. Yeah. So the answer to you asked the question. What was it again?
Why does Maya want
me to talk to Malekith?
Oh, okay. Then I guess you just know.
I mean,
right?
Well, yeah. I mean,
I think if I'd only gotten 4, then it'd be different. But since it's 7,
it's a 7,
maybe I get more.
Or
at least strongly suggested.
What are the hobby, or sorry, what are the higher obs for astrology beyond that? Are there any? Interpreting celestial phenomena or omen is ob 5. That's the highest it goes.
I
think with a 7, he's going to get at least a vague answer of this, right?
I mean, because what I was going to suggest is that he knows that like Maya thinks that he needs to tell him because Malekith knows more about this than he realizes, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think that's the sense that he gets, right? Is that when you say very few mysteries, Malekith is one of the people who knows, right?
I think that maybe even be what he gets back.
Yeah.
Is like we get the answer and there are fewer mysteries than you think. It's just who knows them.
Yep. And Malekith is the one who knows.
Which answers the question of why Joseph says it so much is because it is like one of the answers he gets back.
Yeah. It's probably scripture or something, right?
Yep. Yeah. Makes sense.
Cool.
I'd like to think that's our version of like Philippians 4:13, right? Where it's just constantly out of context, but it still kind of applies.
It kind of makes sense.
But like not really, you know?
Yeah. That's funny. Cool. Yeah, I think that's where we end, right? Like we'll do meeting and stuff next time, but awesome. I love that because I've wanted Malekith to, because I've known this, obviously. I've known that Josh and I figured out that Joser is Hakiel from the beginning. And so I'm excited to have the two of them meet and talk that through. Cool stuff. Well, yeah, let's do beliefs and instincts and stuff and get out of here. Alpheus. While Alpheus is talking to a general, people are being revealed as gods, normal stuff.
It'll all come together in the end.
Indeed,
well,
yeah.
I feel like Chad, I don't know is there time for Chad to have like one more quick scene or anything that he wants?
If you guys want to.
I mean, what else would even happen? All
I want is for Spiridon to reveal himself as Aratos, and then we're cool.
That's why he wants to go to Sinia.
Caleb's like,
That's an idea. So yeah, if we did another scene, it would be Alpheus like trying to convince Spiridon. But that seems like a longer thing, right?
Long thing, yeah.
Yeah, we can do that next time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, let's take a look at your beliefs and stuff. I hate Titan and I want him to die. I will either escape his clutches or kill him myself.
Him.
You did it. Right? Like you did it for I think you did it in a concrete enough way that like if you get captured by him again, it's just a different situation. Right? Like you have successfully escaped him. And whether or not he will try his vengeance on you later, you've done it. So Persona.
I hate that guy.
Don't we all?
I still want to kill him.
I love him.
Somehow.
One of my favorite.
You like playing him.
My favorite character in this campaign, I think.
I think my feelings are known by the fact that I tried to smite him.
It's true. Let's see. Military help. You're working on it, right? You're working on it, attempting to convince the general.
I found him, but I haven't convinced him yet.
Yep. You haven't convinced him of your whole plan. So fate there. You're working on it. And you're trying to keep Ben safe, right? So continued fate there.
Hey, I was willing to die.
Yep.
So somehow telepathically, his mom needs to know that.
Joseph will do an astrology test for it, and actually, Joseph could do an astrology or a faith test and just be like, "Is Alpheus a traitor?" Like, or like, "Is he good?" Yeah, that sort of thing. But
the problem is that I feel like Maya is now even more stubborn to the fact.
Yeah.
Based on all, I don't know. There's gonna have to I think it's gonna have to be Ben telling her, no, Mom, he helped me.
It's gonna be Ben making a persuasion roll to convince Maya, right?
Right.
It's gonna be like the Doctor Strange movie, like the mom's all mean and mad, and then once she realizes she's a mean mom at the end,
right? Yeah,
Wanda, then she turns good.
I still stand by the fact that this is all your fault, but
it very much is Alpheus's fault. Yes, but
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's Alpheus's fault, but he's owning up to it. He's working towards good. He's working towards redeeming himself.
Pretty much this whole game, my character makes a bad decision and has to fix it.
Yep.
And it just happens again and again and again.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like
relate,
actually
I
a more
relate.
realistic way is when you actually get there, you could make the persuasion roll with Ben helping you, right?
Yeah,
If he's
yeah.
like, yes, mom, like, yes, yeah. Because as long as he
Yeah.
says something, right? Like,
Yeah,
I think he'd be
and given the way the
swayed.
burning wheel works, we would want Alpheus to make that roll because Alpheus
Yeah.
would it's Alpheus's thing, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Always try to talk my way out of trouble.
Yes.
I'm gonna give you a fate point for that because you got the guard killed, right? You got that innocent,
I
innocent
didn't
guard
even realize.
killed.
I need to ask for forgiveness for that or something.
Yeah. Always treat those of the lower classes with respect.
No.
That didn't really come up. Always ensure that those I trust are lifted up. Not necessarily as relevant.
No.
Let's see. I'll give you a fate point for impulsive, right? I mean, Alpheus just the whole sequence was just him being like fast talk, try to get out of it, and he managed to do it by the end, but it was just interesting to watch, and fun to watch. Let's see. Earn a persona point each time your actions cause a conflict between two powerful personas. I think you might have gotten it, like Spiridon and Titan. Yeah. Yeah. You take your persona, my friend. Retire general who massacred
I didn't know
an
what
entire-
was going to happen. I didn't know if Spiridon was just going to tell his guys to kill him or what, bro.
The general who massacred an entire city versus the most powerful assassin in the kingdom. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think that's probably it there. Was there like humor or Moldbreaker or anything like that we want to give to Alpheus? I'm thinking maybe Moldbreaker for the kind of minor thing of he was willing to like save him. He didn't actually have to go through with it, but he was like, he very much showed himself being willing to die for Ben. I think that makes sense to maybe not Moldbreaker, I guess, but maybe at the very least embodiment for that, right? So persona point either way.
Cool.
Yeah, go ahead and take that. Cool. Joser. Let's see. You're trying to prepare the stage. I guess you did prepare the stage, right? Like that was the whole
I
thing.
can't really do it. I can't really contribute anything more to it. So.
Yeah, let me actually real quick. I'm gonna make the roll for him. Just to like see how good the stage actually is. 3 successes. I think that was the ob I was gonna set. So I think you're good. Yeah, it's not like the nicest thing in the world, but yeah, it works. It does what you need to do. So persona there. You've done it. You had to have the sun give you some money, but
Yep.
You gained Maya's confidence, I think, right?
Yeah, I have done that.
I'm debating. I feel like either yes or once you talk to Malekith, yes. You know, because I feel like Malekith.
Thing is, Joser agreed to do it, right? So if that's the important piece, like I don't know if it's up to Malekith to decide whether or not you trust him, right? Right? As long as Joser agrees to the conversation, which he already did, I feel like it's done. Right? Like, is there anything else that Joser needs to do to gain Maya's confidence? Is the issue? Like a role
I
that
see
he
what you're
needs to
saying.
make, right? Like, does he need to convince Malekith for this to work for you of something? Like to.
But possible, yeah. Probably.
Yeah, so it's contingent on like Joser and Malekith becoming allies and everyone being in the know and all that stuff.
Right, like, because I think she's still like, I mean, she definitely trusts you a lot more than she did a few hours ago. If you wanted to fast track that, you fast track that so fast, my friend. But you know, just because you told her this big secret, like she's like, okay, I know another god.
Like,
well, if we want to interpret confidence as in, I have your confidence as in that you're not going to blab this to anybody.
That's true.
Then yes,
confidence in terms of
because next session I can change that belief to being
about Malekith.
Talk to Malekith.
That makes sense because it's more Malekith centered than Maya centered at that point, which makes
that's
sense.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's
so
fair.
Persona for it because Maya will keep your secret.
And I succeeded on that guidance roll too, so I did seek the sunshine to light the way.
Yes, indeed. My current work in Sinia is not progressing quickly enough. So light though, just yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so you have a direction, persona.
Yeah, it was going to be a guidance roll anyway. It
Yep.
was a little bit different context than I thought, but
Yep,
it
makes
worked.
sense.
So.
Let's see. Well, you played against your third instinct.
Yeah.
Do we think maybe mold breaker for that? Was it like significant enough that he actually trusted
what's your
Maya,
third-
or
what's
his third
your
instinct is never reveal the true intentions behind my actions?
And then I did.
Which the instinct that was the instinct that he made because he was a god, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I'm still going to keep it so that no one else can get it out of me, but yeah.
Sure, yeah. Another persona then. Let's see. Rebel rouser, well-traveled, cunning, strange, faithful, manhunter, weather sense, believer, vested, and comprehensible diagnosis. I'm gonna at least give you a fate point for humor, for the scene that we had with the mason, the whatever, and then the just all of Josh's conversations have been funny today. And then I don't know. Do you have an argument for any of the other ones? Any other traits here?
I mean, he's very strange, but I think that more falls underneath his humor, is because he does all these weird, strange things.
I think I might give you a fate point for right skill, right time. Joser just has lots of answers, of ways to get answers for things. That like you being able to know for sure that like Maya won't betray your trust, and being able to know for sure that Malekith is in the know. Like all of that's right skill, right time, right? It's moving the story forward. Because you have a special thing.
Excellent.
Cool. And then last but not least, we got Maya. You found someone to go after your son, and you hired him, so persona.
Okay.
You tried to ensure that Alpheus was never welcome back in Sinia.
I certainly tried.
So, fate point there.
I would argue that me rolling persuasion against Joser was me trying to help Malekith with his goals.
You setting up the meeting for sure, right? Like that's fate point for Malekith to get the two gods together, and they can work their wonders, right? Yeah. Okay, I'll give you a fate point for I always put my son first, no matter what, because you always put your son first above your husband, because you're like, Alpheus got my son captured, he needs to go, right? No matter what my husband says, like you're protecting your son. You're like, he needs to be in the picture.
Next session I might try something, so
yeah.
If the conversation would go in a certain way, there's a very funny thing that I was going to bring up, but it didn't happen. But I'll tell you that afterwards.
Sure. Okay. I think I might give you a fate point for never back down from a challenge, not because it got you into trouble, but Maya just stepping up to the plate and being the counselor of gods. Like, it's just like, let's go, right?
Why am I not surprised? Everyone around me is a god, apparently.
Yeah. Hey, it's the last season, guys. We got all the big reveals have to happen.
Yeah, Alpheus, come on. When you revealing you're a god? I don't know.
Soon.
Soon.
And then let's see, traits. I don't think any of your traits came into play more profoundly than your instincts did. So,
religious.
The only one I don't think I could get one for a die trait, right? Like thick skin. Like, I don't know. I feel like I stood my ground with Malekith.
Yes. I mean, kind of. So like the actual mechanical thing it says is like +2 op to incite actions against this character in Duel of Wits. So it's like you can't be goaded. I don't know if anyone was like trying to goad you, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. It's more about like, can you take insults? So
that makes sense.
Take a point for bastard, because we found out today that life path gave you a skill that you'll never use.
I'm not going to give her a pity fate point.
No, I'm good. I've got 10 already. I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna
if
look
that
real
was
quick
a thing, then heraldry would be.
Right, exactly. Well, she got right skill, right time for that one when it actually worked. Yeah, happened. Let's see. Humor, right skill, right time, embodiment, mold breaker. Yeah, I don't know if any of that came up for Maya this time. All right, cool. I think that's it. Did anyone run any like steel tests this time? I guess Maya really should be
I
doing
met
steel
a
tests
god.
for meeting gods. Yeah, Maya, go ahead and mark 2 challenging tests for your steel for the Malekith thing that we didn't mark
For
before.
2 challenging.
And,
Okay.
Yeah, and Joser.
All right, man. I already have really high steel, so
yeah, and you needed both of those challenging, so that's good for you. You just need 3 difficults now. Anything else like that happen this time? That I guess Alpheus had a guy get stabbed in front of him.
Stabbed in front of him.
What is his steel right now? Yeah, your steel's only 4. I think you get a steel test for that.
Yeah, witnessing somebody being murdered, I think is
yeah. It's higher.
Pity Maya doesn't have a higher steel because she'd also get one for encountering the living dead.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, living dead is albeit, so you didn't need another challenging, but and then
well, technically I could get one for meeting those in the first session.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, I get a challenging test. That's good.
And then witnessing a murder. Ob 3 for you, Alpheus. So that is a difficult test, which you need. So, yep. I just marked it. Cool. Alrighty, I think that is it for us here with Death Unto Madness. Thanks for playing, guys, and thank you for watching. We are out. Adios.